And we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. It is July 6th, Sunday. Welcome to the stream. And of course, my video is frozen for some odd reason. I don't know why that's happening. Give me one sec, chat. Fix this. That's me looking at weirdos. All right, we're back on. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Let me know how the video, how the audio is sounding, guys. I got a new, I bought a new mixer, so I'm waiting for that to come into the mail. And, you know, obviously we're going to make things even better. I think I'm going to be sticking with the, Shure SM7B. I know that the other microphone is better, but for the purposes of being able to be a bit more dynamic with the way that we do the show and everything else like that, what I'll probably do is I'll probably just go ahead and use the SM7B. Just because it's a bit better for the way that we do the show. So, yeah. So we got a couple things to talk about today, guys. Well, let me see here. Give me O/s if the mic is good. Give me O/ if the mic is good. I'm definitely going to upgrade my mixer, though. I'm going to get an even better mixer for you guys. For this microphone in particular. Turn up my mic. Bro, it's on the fucking red. What are you talking about? All right, I'll turn it up a little bit for you guys anyway. Give me one sec. I'll turn it up for you. I'll tell you guys this, though. This is good, though, because I've been learning a lot about audio the past couple of days because I've been, like, doing a lot of this stuff on my own. Because, you know, I don't like bothering Bills all the time. I asked All right. We are live, guys. What's up? Welcome to the stream. Of course, as always, the video acts up. Give me 1 second. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the stream, man. Sorry for the delay. Man, we are live now. Sorry for the delay, guys. Had a late night. Wasn't feeling too hot yesterday. Woke up feeling like crap, but we're here anyway. No breaks on the train. The grind continues. We had a super long one yesterday. As you guys know, we went for like 10 hours pretty much on stream. I didn't expect to be on that long, but we went a lot longer than expected, but it's all good. I'm going to cover a couple of topics today, guys. We won't be on too long because we obviously have, we got a guest in the house. Chris is going to do his AA meeting. The audio should be pretty good as well. I just, let me see here. I just have to bring down the USB a little bit, I think. So that should make it work. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. Not waste any time. Let me go ahead and get into, we could jump into Cardi B stuff right now. I was looking at some of these videos that are up. But as you guys know, your girl Cardi B, a.k.a. the biggest 304 ever, okay, is single yet again. This girl right here, for those of you that are not familiar with her, this is her, okay? I know a lot of you guys are not familiar with some of these celebrities, and I honestly don't blame you. Low IQ individuals tend to be more concerned with celebrities. And the only reason I'm even talking about her here in this case is because there's going to be a couple of life lessons here that I'm going to talk about when it comes to this woman, okay? Ben Cleese, Marlena, Cephas, I don't even fucking know. Known professionals, Cardi B is an American rapper noted for her unfiltered public image and lyrics. Cardi B is one of the most successful female artists. From 2015 to early 2017, she gained recognition on Vine and Instagram as a cast member on VH1's Love and Hip Hop and by releasing 2 mixtapes. And as you guys know, she was married to this guy for a bit. Offset, one of the 3 from the Migos, a rap group out of the Atlanta area. And, I think they had a couple kids together. And, they've been having a very public feud, talking shit about each other online. Obviously, not very classy. But, this is kind of what you sign up for when you get in relationships with girls like this. I got a video here. Let's see. Oh, and then she had so after they broke up, guys, just so you guys understand, after they broke up, she started dating this fucking guy named Stefon Diggs, who, from what I understand, he's a football player or something like that. Let me look here. Which is, this nigga got a strange name. This is him right here. Right, this guy. So she went ahead and started dating an NFL player right after this dude. So let's go ahead and we can check this video out first. Fuck. Bruh. Shit not work?
I'm quick, I'm talk broke like raw like this. Talking dog shit when your dog got spent. And again, tell you on my feet. This whole I'm like, yup. All
right, bro. Fucking low IQ shit. Let's see if this talks about it a little bit.
Okay, you guys, now y'all know if Offset doesn't do nothing else, he's gonna be petty when it comes to Cardi B. And social media has been on fire ever since fans caught Offset being low-key shady and laughing at Cardi B's alleged breakup with her boo Stefon Diggs. So Cardi B and Stefon Diggs have been dating for at least 6 months. And these two...
And they went viral, guys, the other day because they were basically on a yacht together partying, which I'll show you this real quick. This was like a month or 2 ago, okay? This is them partying on the yacht before. So here he is talking to some girls on the yacht. I think this was in Miami when they did this shit, right? and there was a bunch of girls there, and then this nigga pulls out, I don't even know if that's TPUSA or what that is. See some pink shit. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Flirting with these chicks or whatever. Okay, where the fuck? And I think it was for her birthday. No, that's another angle of the fucking Coke bullshit. Okay, here they are together at NBA game, it looks like. My guy got Tim's on with jean shirts. Is that the cool thing to do now? What the hell is going on, bro? All right. Anyway. So yeah, niggas making fun of her, right?
Seemed to be very into each other. They were very public with their relationship, not hiding anything. So fast forward to yesterday, rumors started spreading that Cardi B and Stefon Diggs were over and done after
she deleted all her pictures of him.
Cardi B deleted his pictures off of her Instagram page. Now, there was speculation as to why these two broke up. Some people were saying it's because of the cheating allegations, because let's be real, Stefon Diggs was never faithful to Cardi B. Multiple women came out about being his other woman, and he allegedly has 2 babies on the way after another woman just gave birth earlier this year. But it's also speculation going around that the reason they broke up is because Stefon didn't want to go to Disney World with Cardi B and her kids. Now, I'm not
Hey man, W Diggs. Yo, man.
not really believe in this one. I would have to see more evidence, but all in all, the same conclusion comes about that these two allegedly are no longer together. So the same day that people noticed that Cardi B deleted Stefon Diggs' pictures off her page, Offset ended up going live on his IG, and he was all smiles. He was playing certain songs in the background, repeating certain lyrics, and fans took this as him mocking Cardi B and Stefon Diggs' breakup. Take a look.
Hello. Yeah, Northside baby, man. Y'all niggas can't get rid of me. I'm like cancer, nigga.
And just so you guys know, this shit Cardi B would be talking shit about him, calling him a bum and a terrible dad and all this other wild shit. She'd be just like calling him out of his name on Instagram Lives, on Twitter Spaces, just spazzing, all right?
Man, you can't get rid of the cancer, you know what I mean? I'm harder than all you pussy. Fuck you talking about. All of my hoes still my hoes, that's for sure. All of my hoes still my hoes, that's for sure. And they come all of my hoes still my hoes, that's for sure. All of my.
And this is what they do. They do cryptic shit like this where they make fun of each other on social media, right? Because she's done this a few times on Instagram Live as well. So you can see that he's doing this shit back to her. The pettiness, right, between the two of them.
My hoes still my hoes, and they know they still my hoes, you hear me? But the mother
Right up his alley. Now, let's not forget these two have been going through a messy divorce. Offset really didn't want to leave Cardi B, but
He was trying to get spousal support too, chat, and she lost her fucking mind when he said that he wanted spousal support. Now, from his perspective, it's not because he's broke. He said it's a strategy to ensure that he gets access to the children. At least that's what his team said, right? But she spazzed out because she makes significantly more money than he does, guys. Obviously, this girl's, very a world-renowned artist.
she got fed up with all the cheating. I mean, he even allegedly got another woman pregnant while they
Look at this BBLs, bro. Surgery.
they were married, made the woman get an abortion, and eventually Cardi B ended up calling it quits after she got fed up with being fed up. So while he's over there laughing and making jokes, the joke is really on him because he's the one who lost the woman that he really wanted. I know Offset is going to be petty for a while because he is very bitter about this breakup. Also, there's a video going around of Tia Kemp addressing Offset and his laughing. Now, just to be clear, a lot of people thought this video was new, and in response to Offset making that video, Offset even responded to this video of Tia Kemp talking about him. Now, again, this video just started making its
Watermelon Warriors in the house, bro. All right. So what's the bottom line here? I don't want to watch this fucking bullshit. Sorry, guys. I had to get you guys to understand the backstory. What's the lesson learned here? Well, guys, this is why I tell y'all, bro, that this is why it's so imperative, man, to be careful of the women that you date and the women that you take seriously. Because when you date a girl, you wife her up, you have kids with her, you're going to be stuck with that chick, and to a degree, if you, especially if you have kids. And I guess Offset, right, did this more from a career perspective, but he's still going to pay the price, right? She talks shit to him crazy. She makes him look wild on the internet, says a whole bunch of things about him publicly for cheating. So for the men, the lesson is don't wife up hoes. This girl, Cardi B, used to be a stripper, okay? Women that come from the sex work world are to never, ever, ever be taken seriously, bro. Okay? And the reason for this, guys, is because women that are involved in sex work are simply not good people. All right, let me explain what I mean by this. So, when you meet a girl, right, and you hang out with her and, you know, you're getting to know her and everything else like that, there's certain women that you're just not able to properly lead as a man. As you guys know, when you come into a relationship, it's your job to be the leader, the provider, protector, etc. But you need to be that man for the right girl. Trying to be a protector, provider, and a good husband and a good man to a woman that's a former sex worker is almost never going to work because women that are sex workers are just not good people. I said it. All right? They're just not good people. All right? They're not good. And when I mean this, that they're not good people, I mean as in they're not good people for you to get into a relationship with. Terrible. All right? Doesn't mean that they're evil. They're inherently, you know, awful people. No. But they're not good people when it comes to the perspective of she's not going to properly honor you as her man. And the reason for that is because women that do sex work have to get their state of mind to a certain level that is damn near impossible to come from. Does that make sense? A woman's main commodity and her main agency is her body and her sexuality. That is her most prized possession, right? If she starts, if for her to be able to get naked in front of other men, or to have sex for money, or to basically use her most valuable asset and degrade it for monetary compensation, it takes a certain level of mindset to get to that position because it's not the norm, okay? It's not the norm. How do I know that? Because the only girls that get into sex work, whether it's OnlyFans, stripping, etc., they do it out of a place of desperation. They're not doing it from a position of they want to do it. They're doing it from a position of, oh, I am desperate. I want to make money. I want to do it. Now, this is why I have even less respect for girls like Jasmine Jafar, who were, you know, she had her law degree or whatever the fuck. She went to law school and she's still being a slut. Like that right there, unacceptable. That's an L. Okay? That's a big L. Now, some of these women, right? Some of these women are are just retarded like her and just go into sex work for no reason, not out of necessity. Rather, they do it because they're greedy. Those are the worst. But that's all of the conversation. But most of the time when women get into sex work, it's because they're broke, okay? And they're trying to make ends meet. Same thing with Cardi B. When you're struggling financially, you're having a tough time, you're going to have to do deplorable things sometimes when you do sex work to make that money and get, pay for your bills or whatever it is. So you have to get to a certain mindset. That mindset, guys, is a state where you never want to deal with women that have reached that level. Now, why? You guys are probably wondering, well, Myron, everybody has a tough life. Everyone goes through adversity. Like, why are you why are you being so difficult on this? The reason why, chat, is because women are sensitive creatures, okay? They're not like us, okay? I kind of look at women like glass, right? If you drop a cup of glass, right, and it shatters into a million pieces, even if you tried to glue it back and tape it back and all this other shit, and you poured water into it, it's always going to leak, right? It's never going to be able to hold water in the same way ever again. So when you deal with women that have had to do deplorable things like this to make money, right? So doing sex work or whatever, her innocence is gone. When a woman's innocence is gone, the glass is effectively shattered and she can no longer hold water. You know what that water is? That's her being able to respect you. That's her following your lead. That's her not being a whore. That's her being submissive and docile. That's her being innocent. All of that is gone. Okay? And no matter how much a woman represses it, she is going to get trauma from being a sex worker. I'm sure many of you guys have been in strip clubs. Strip clubs don't necessarily attract the most upstanding of individuals, if you catch my drift. A lot of criminals, degenerates, weirdos, fucking slumlords, pretty much. Okay? It's actually a big reason why I don't like strip clubs and I don't like clubs in general. Nightlife tends to attract a lot of degenerates. Now imagine being in these locations every other day or every weekend for a couple of days, meeting these strange individuals, right? And interacting with them and doing things that you might not necessarily want to do. This is why most strippers, guys, do drugs or drink alcohol when they go to work. Because no girl in her right mind wants to sit there and get naked in front of a stranger. Okay? No girl wants to do that. No little girl grows up and says, I want to be a stripper when I grow up. No. They want to be a mom. Maybe they want to go to school, get educated, whatever. But no one dreams or no one says, I want to go ahead and be a dancer. Most of the time, women do it out of necessity. No girl says, I want to be a porn star. They do it out of necessity. No girl says, I want to go ahead and be an OnlyFans star. They do it out of necessity. And laziness a lot of the times, too. So, since women have to get to this certain place mentally to be able to do this fucking deplorable work, they get a certain level of trauma where they will no longer be able to respect you. And here's the other ugly part, too, that you guys need to know. When women do sex work, right? Another very, very ugly truth that you guys need to know. They see, and I actually don't blame them for this. Actually, this part, what I'm going to say here is I actually don't blame them for this. They start to hate men. Okay? I'm going to say that again for you guys. When women do sex work, they start to resent and hate men. Why? Because when you do sex work and you're doing this shit, you're dealing with, like, a lot of the times, the lowest demographic of men that are just horn dogs and pieces of shit. Okay? You see all the worst parts of male sexuality. So a lot of these girls that do this type of work get trauma that they'll never be able to unsee. They see all the most unflattering parts of men. The worst side. Right? The perverts, the creeps, the weirdos. Some guys are into some weird shit. And as a sex worker, you see all that. I'll give you guys a scenario of what I mean by this. Some of you guys have probably already dealt with this, but imagine a scenario where You're going out with women. Every single time you go out with women, all they do is use you for money. You never get laid. You never get actual real validation or attention. You never get respect. Every time you deal with women, they're just using you for fucking dinner. And you can never get fucking laid. Well, after a good period of time, you're going to start to resent women more than likely. You're going to naturally harbor some resentment towards them over a prolonged period of time for them abusing you in this way, right? This is precisely the level of resentment that women experience on their end when they're sex workers, okay? Does that make sense, chat? Because I really want you guys to understand this. As a man, if you were to get used by women every single day, just for dinner, you're spending $100, $200 a night, and you're not getting laid, you're not getting attention, nothing, you're going to naturally harbor resentment towards all women, right? That feeling of being used and being angry and frustrated with the opposite gender, that's exactly how females feel when it comes to them doing sex work. Now, they're obviously not going to overtly say this because they understand that men are their clientele. So they have to kind of put on a face and do it like as if they're happy, but they're not. I promise you guys, every single one of these female porn stars, every single one of these dancers, every single one of these OnlyFans girls, they hate these motherfuckers. They hate them. This is why women that do sex work a lot of times end up hating men and they don't respect their fans. If you guys want to see something cringy, go to a porn convention and look at a female porn star as she sits there and there's a line of guys waiting to take a picture with her. I want you guys to look at her face. She's going to put on the fake smile. Hi, yeah, hi. But as soon as that motherfucker, walks up and gives her flowers like he's a fucking simp or whatever, she's going to just roll her eyes and be like, oh, get the fuck out of here. I don't need this fucking guy. Like, this guy's a weirdo. But they understand that it's a means to an end to continue to make money. So they start to resent and hate the very group of people that pay their bills. And that's how women feel in sex work, just like how you would feel if you were being used all the time. And then on top of that, it makes it very difficult for her to trust men in the future and respect men. They start to look at men as a commodity instead of an asset that could take care of them and protect them. Because they've been treated so poorly by men all throughout their life. So they harbor this resentment for a very long time, and it's very difficult for them to submit to a man and be with a man. Now, let's fast forward. Why am I telling you guys this? I'm telling you guys this because this is exactly the cloth that someone like a Cardi B is cut from. Despite the fact that she has all this money, despite the fact that she's successful, despite the fact that she's famous, she still can't get a guy to take her seriously. Why? Well, regardless of woman's status and income, whores are whores. Doesn't matter. I think Offset knew this deep down. So he never really respected her as like a real wife. Hence why he was cheating on her all the time. Now, another thing about strippers as well that they tend to be delusional about, especially ones that got money and think that they're hot, is they think that men should be loyal to them. That's another crazy part for women. They think, oh, even though I'm a sex worker and I don't deserve monogamy, I'm going to demand it. Yeah, you heard that right. Women that are in sex work feel as though they deserve monogamy no matter what. So in other words, they can behave like whores, be whores, have a whore past, but they expect the treatment of a saint. They basically make the same demands as a virgin bride, but they're whores. And this is where whoreflation comes in. Because you got girls that are hoes with a deplorable past sitting there thinking that they deserve the future of a girl who preserved herself throughout her youth. Why do we have this? We have this because we have this society where no one tells women the truth about anything. Even delusional sex workers think that they deserve a top-tier guy. She was delusional to think that this NFL player was going to take her seriously. Of course not. Of course not. But since she has money and fame, she's delusional. And people like Cardi B, guys, right? They're cooked. There is nothing worse than being a female sex worker that's rich. You're fucking air fried, bro. Air fried. Because not only are you bottom of the fucking barrel when it comes to women and it comes to pickings, but now you're bottom of the barrel, but you want top of the fucking barrel standards. So in other words, women that are sex workers write checks that they can't fucking cash. They got a 400 credit score, but they're trying to apply for a fucking Amex Platinum. That's literally what it is when it comes to girls that are 304s. It's the equivalent of a girl that's a 304 going into a bank with a 400 credit score saying, oh yeah, give me the loan because I got a nice bag. The banker's going to be like, I don't give a fuck about your bag. Your credit score's 400. I'm good. We can't take you as a client. Sayonara. But this is how women operate. Because when she was out in the real world, everyone was telling her, you got a nice bag, you'll get approved for that loan. You see where I'm coming from with this, guys? Say this again for you guys so you really understand this shit. We live in a world where a woman will have, from a metaphor perspective, a 400 credit score and try to get a loan on $1 million house with no fucking money in the bank, going to the bank, saying, hey, I want a loan on this $1 million house, even though my credit score sucks and I have no money in the bank, but give it to me because I have this nice purse. The banker looks at her like, what?
Bomba.
Sorry, nice purse, but that's not what qualifies you for the loan. Sorry, denied. We're good, right?
Denied.
But throughout her entire life, she's grown up and women told her and her friends, oh, don't worry about it. You can have a 400 credit score. You can have no money in the bank. You'll still get the loan. Go to the bank anyway. Bring your nicest purse. They'll really respect you for having that purse and they'll give you the loan. And she gets to the fucking bank, gets denied of the loan, and wonders why she didn't get the fucking loan. Because no one told her the truth that, hey, dumb bitch, have good practices, save your money, don't fucking spend more than you make, have some money in the bank, and then go get approved in the loan. That dumb bitch gets denied at the fucking bank. No thank you, right?
Denied.
Then another girl comes in with a good credit score, with some money in the bank. She gets approved for the loan. You want to know who that girl is? That's the girl that wasn't a whore in her 20s. That's the girl that came from a good family. That's the girl that had some fucking self-respect. That's the girl that chose to work a waitress job or work some other lower wage job when they're in college instead of stripping. That's the girl that didn't sell her soul. Now, she could go ahead and get the loan and buy her dream home. And that is the difference, my friends. We tell these dumb hoes with a 400 credit score they deserve $1 million homes. But they don't. And they often write checks that they can't cash. So it's your job as the banker to identify the women that have shitty credit scores and no money in the bank. But the problem with a lot of you stupid niggas is you guys sit there as the banker and you still give the bitch the loan. And then you get mad when you don't get paid every month, when she's delinquent, house goes into foreclosure, and guess who eats the fucking bill? You do. Because you gave the loan, you had the parameters set, and she couldn't stick to it because she ain't have no money, and her credit score sucks. But your dumb ass picked her. Why? Because she came into the bank with a nice purse. So the moral of the story is this, guys. Don't be like Offset and give loans to bitches like he did that are not qualified for the loan. Don't do it. Good credit score, money in the bank, then you give her the loan. And that is going to be your provisioning, your security, etc., your masculinity. Make women earn that shit. They need to come to the bank ready. Payment stubs and everything. If some of you guys exercise proper discretion like these banks do with these hoes, you guys would be better off. Seriously. Be a banker, guys. Be a banker. Anyway.
Fatality.
Hey, we cooking tonight, chat, or what? I'm fucking on like no sleep and I'm still over here roasting. So, yeah, man. Give me ones in the chat if that makes sense, guys. Very important life lesson for you guys, bro. I hate celebrity gossip and shit like that. It's fucking stupid. But I think, given the circumstance of the importance of this topic and how so many of you guys end up with fucking 304s, I had to share this. Because one of you guys right now is watching the show. Bro, one of you niggas right now that's watching the show is with a bitch that's a whore. Right now. Right now. One of you motherfuckers right now is with one of these girls. I'm here to tell you, ask yourself, does she fucking meet the bank requirements? Is she gonna get the fucking, the home loan? Some of you niggas know that bitch don't deserve a home loan that you're with right now. Right? Hell, she might even be sitting next to you right now. If she is, hey, bitch, work to get the fucking loan with that guy. He might not tell you, but I will for him. If you're one of these fucking chicks where you're not submissive and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and you're a fucking sex worker, he still deal with you, you're fucking lucky he's even there. Fucking know your place, whore. There you go. I said it for you guys. Some of you niggas aren't going to fucking tell your girl, so I got to do it for y'all. Matter of fact, while you're at it, go get him a sandwich. That fucking stutter, go get him a sandwich. Guys, if she doesn't get up and get the sandwich right now, you got a chick right now with you watching this shit, she'll get up and make you a sandwich, nigga, you might want to consider what you're fucking doing here. Might be time to leave her, bro.
Bomba.
Might be time to leave her. If she's not getting up right fucking now and making you a sandwich, guys, it might be time to fucking leave her. Okay? You niggas can thank me later. I just saved you guys a bunch of fucking money on your hoe insurance by switching to Myron Gaines. Anyway, does Geico still say that? Such a fucking catchy slogan, man. Them niggas been saying that for like 20 years. Also, guys, just so you know, we're running the sale right now for the OSS. Okay, you guys like content like this, whatever. Now you guys can see why I'm fucking still demonetized on YouTube. YouTube don't want you guys to know information like this, man. So it's $4 to join the first month, guys. Join up. Let's hit 2,500 niggas tonight, goddammit. Okay? And all my YouTube ninjas, right? Because you guys know I'm demonetized. These fucking losers definitely run ads on my shit. So a quick word from our sponsors. And by our sponsors, I mean myself, aka the OSS. The only thing I ask, especially for my YouTube viewers, is for you guys to join OSS. We just passed 1,500 active supporters. I want to say thank you guys so much for the OSS. As you guys know, the OSS is my community. Starting in July, we're going to start adding in some perks. We got a Discord that we're working on, a Telegram group. Also, giving you guys merch discounts. You can call into the debrief show. I'm going to take in calls. $4 to join. I'm running a sale right now for you guys. Or you can jump in for the year at $75. Basically, this is how I offset the fact that YouTube is absolutely robbing me blind, because I know that they still run ads on my shit. The goal is 10,000 strong for us to fight back against the censorship of YouTube. That's how you really support me, support the mission. It allows me to continue to do these super long streams for you guys. A lot of people tell me, hey Myron, like you shouldn't even be streaming on YouTube anymore. You should be streaming on Rumble and Kick only. But I'll take the financial hit to reach more people, especially on YouTube where people don't talk about this shit. Link is below, guys. Still running a sale for you guys. All right, still running a sale. There's a double on ad. What the hell? That's weird. All right. Well, either way, guys, running the sale right now. $4 to join for the month. We got Corey Hughes tomorrow. Big announcement, right? Tomorrow. Okay. Okay, cool. So it's going to be tomorrow at 11 p.m. EST, guys. All right. We're going to do the debrief first. Then we're going to switch on over. Go to OSS. It's going to be an OSS only stream. And we're going to talk about the Cookie Monster event. All right. And then, guys, Bills is going to come here and we're going to finalize and fix this Roadcaster once and for all. I know the audio is a lot better than yesterday. But yeah, we're going to fine tune this thing and make it perfect for you guys tonight when Bills gets here. But anyway, let's get into Jeffrey Epstein. Story number 2, ninjas. As you guys know, we cover everything on this bitch. So here is your girl, Caroline Leavitt. She's the White House press secretary. Talking about your boy Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, let me read chats first too before we get into this. Let me not forget you guys. AB23 says, what happened to the call-in shows with girls? It was so funny before. Can you do that once a month? We noticed that when we do that, you guys just end up asking us questions and the girls just zone out. Monday, not Sunday. Yeah, I know. That was a video playing in the background. It was while I was... OBS was too bugging out. One chat says, is it possible to see that first preview I brought up a couple days ago, all of the O/ flying up on your Batman setup screens? They could be awesome for Brett Clip. Oh, okay. I see what your first view. One chat, just clarify for me. You mean as in like my chat, right? When I say show me the O/ and I show all the chats just going crazy? Is that what you meant? I'll do that tomorrow for you. If that's what you're asking for, I could do that tomorrow when we go live. Today's a shorter show because Chris got his AA meeting at 8. Root Rebellion, the general proves it's on you now, Supreme Commander. Hey, what do y'all think about this? Here, let me go ahead and because I am going to make some merch that's exclusive for you guys only. What do you guys think about this? I'll show you the whole chat here. What do you guys think? Y'all like it? Zip up? Y'all like it? Here, let me show you guys what the front will look. That's what the front will look like. And that's the back. Oh shit, you guys can't see. My bad. This is the front. And then that's the back. Front, back. You guys like it? This who sent this in? Root Rebellion sent this in on OSS. By the way, merch store is up, by the way, guys. Charlie1207 subscribed. Welcome to the team, bro. Mary515, I'm always amazed how quickly women can move on after a long-term relationship. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I've talked about this. It's because women are hypergamous. They're designed to leave men when they no longer fit their needs. Epic stream last night. Myron, you're leveling up like Goku. From now on, we should call you Master Jedi Myron. Yeah, you guys saw me frying them niggas yesterday? George Santos? I was cooking that boy, man. Judicial says they both dumb as fuck. This is not how adults act when they have kids together. Niggas doing nigga shit, bro. I'm telling you, dude. We got here. I speak for the OSS Army when I express our deepest gratitude, Myron. You liberated us from Blue Pill regime. We stand united with you. Yes, my friend. I got y'all, man. That's what I'm here for. W Camera, WTPC Films. Yep. The TPC Films is awesome. Myron, what day is today? Okay. Come on, man. That was from yesterday. By the way, sound effects are playing twice at the same time with slight delay. Right now? All right, we're going to fix that shit, bro. Bills is coming tonight, so we're going to fix that. Myron, is there a max income level you have for women you're prospecting? Meaning, if she is making X amount per income per year, she becomes a red flag? I wouldn't necessarily say, create a red flag based on how much she makes. I would say do a red flag based on what she does. The type of profession is way more of a red flag than the income, if that makes sense. Kate says, Myron, did you see that they sent a football player to jail for allegedly raping a girl at a party? I think he's an NBA player. I did hear about that. Boogeyman says, the stripper thing is absolutely true. I met a Moldovan girl a year ago at a strip club in Connecticut. She's from Los Angeles. The first night she was all over me and actually begged me to come to her. She was super drunk and freaky that night. I went back a few months later and she happened to be there again and she immediately recognized me. She was hungover this time. All over me again. I talked to her to pick her brain about stripping. More of the story is that she said she wouldn't do it again. Yeah, bro, but you don't wipe those girls up. One chest, just a heads up if you had time, pick. Okay. They're doing another Space Suleiman in them? Okay, I could join the space a little bit after this. Al Boys, hey, bro, the videos you're playing have a bit of an echo. The rest of audio sounds great. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck that's happening. Um, let me call Bills real quick. Offset and Diggs tried to offset a hoe. Facts. Echoes when you play videos. Yo, Bills. Yo, they said that there's a little bit of an echo when they play video, or when I play a video. Is there anything I can do to fix it on my end?
Echo when they play a video.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the mic might be too loud.
The mic is too loud?
They might be hearing your headphones.
Oh, they're hearing my headphones?
Yeah, they might be hearing your headphones. That's what I'm thinking. If they're hearing a little echo. Because the Rodecaster, if you're on chat, right? You put it on Rodecaster chat, right?
Let me double check right now. On chat for like the computer settings or for?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see.
Here, you gonna TV in?
No, I can't. I'm in the shower and I got to slide to you.
Yeah. No, right now, for output, it's on main stereo. Should I switch that?
Hold on. Show me. I'm on FaceTime.
All right. Chat, we're gonna get into Jeffrey Epstein next here.
It should be that's fine. Yeah, everything's fine on that. And then chat. No, put that on chat.
Put this one on chat. All right.
Yeah. And all right, you get eggs out of there.
All right.
And then let me see. Play the video.
All right. Let me play this Epstein video. Guys, tell me if it echoes. I got Bills on the line.
And FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable, and I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration, and the Trump administration is committed.
Guys, how was that? Was that good, chat, or is that bad? They said slight echo.
Slight echo, reverb. I gotta hear it back.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it on stream.
Yeah, I gotta hear it on stream to really get an exact.
You know what? Hold on.
He said light echo. Let me see.
Let me try this now. Hold on.
Committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review.
Still there?
I'm trying to think. Is the reverb activated on the track? Show me the track on the Rodecaster real quick.
Yeah.
Click the USB track.
Let me look here.
Have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable, and I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration, and the Trump administration is committed.
Click that bottom left. Well, yeah, same shit. Go back to it. Click the bottom left button right there.
This one?
Yeah. Yeah, nothing looks crazy. Honestly, do me a favor. Turn off the Rodecaster, turn it back on.
Turn off and turn it back on? All right, let me try that. Give me 1 sec, chat.
Because I'm thinking maybe you click the button that's activated reverb or delay because they have some like effects on that shit.
All right, chat, give me 1 sec. I'm going to restart the thing.
That's why the Attorney General and the FBI director pledged at the president's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it contained child pornography, which is not something that's appropriate for public consumption. But they committed to an exhaustive investigation. That's what they did, and they provided.
Hold on, let me. All right, you know what? I think I got. Okay, can you guys hear me on this mic right now? Chat, can you hear me on this mic? All right, I got the. Yeah, I think they can hear me on this microphone. I just switched it. All right, bro. I'll use this mic for now. And then.
What mic is, what line is that?
Actually, this one is the Newman.
It's on mic 1?
Yeah, it's number 1, the Newman.
Yeah, all right, yeah, just rock out with that, bro.
Yeah, I'll use that just for now. All right.
Yeah, because I don't know what the fuck going on with that, but all right, I got to update the driver and shit.
All right, man. All right, bro. Later. Yeah, guys, whenever you get new equipment, man, it's like fucking bullshit that you got to deal with all the time, dude. So, don't worry, guys. We're going to fix this shit. For sure. When Bills gets here, he's going to mess with this thing and adjust it properly and everything else like that. It's so fucking stupid, bro. Yeah, this mic is better, chat, but the problem with this mic is that I can't, like, use it the same way that I want to as like with the SM7B. That's the only problem. Okay. Dev Stream Brother, I want to know what's the status of that 1v 21st Wednesday. I'll know when I see Chris later. Is this Charlie Kirk being a hypocritical simp? Send me a picture. Hey, Charlie Kirk, thanks for following me on X. I don't know. One chest, 100 going crazy. Okay, you can have Chris AA meeting on your O/slash channel. No, it's gonna be on Fresh to Fit. Do you know what the ETA is on the merch? Ask Brett, but it should be like within a week, depending on the shipping that you got. Okay, so I'll keep reading chats. I'll start back up here, but since we've been delayed a little bit, let me go ahead and go right into this Epstein stuff. Okay, guys? Let's get into this.
The DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable, and I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration. And the Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI director pledged at the president's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it contained child pornography, which is not something that's appropriate for public consumption. But they committed to an exhaustive investigation. That's what they did, and they provided the results of that. That's transparency.
Well, actually, they didn't. They didn't show any of the documents, really. They just said, here's a video, an 11-hour-long video saying, hey, look, no one went into his cell except for him.
Follow up on that.
Sure.
Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what...
man.
The Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction.
Yeah, so obviously she's, you know, she's deflecting over to, you know, what the FBI is doing right now, which, you know, they want to get it far away from this thing, dude. They want to dead this shit right now.
In United States history, their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals. That's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this Attorney General and the...
Yep, they want to fucking wash their hands of this shit, chat. They don't want to talk about this at all. Let's see here if there's anything else. I know Candace. Let me see what Candace said about this. And then I'll give you guys my take as well.
All right, you guys, happy Monday. I hope you enjoyed the holiday weekend. I certainly did. And named Donald Barr. Okay, Donald Barr. And if you're listening to that right now and thinking, Candace, that surname sounds strangely familiar to you, well, it is because he is, in fact, Bill Barr's father. Bill Barr, who worked for the CIA and then became the U.S. Attorney General under George H.W. Bush, and then again under Donald Trump's first term. Yeah, that Bill Barr. His dad was Donald Barr. And his dad was actually a pretty interesting character, I got to tell you, because he published this book in 1973, a science fiction book. I want to be clear, it's fiction. And it was entitled Space Relations. And this totally fiction book told the story about a planet that is ruled by oligarchs who engage in child sex slavery. Wow, that is really weird. Per Wikipedia, they write, quote, it has been noted that the plot of...
Yes, chat, we will have after hours tonight for you guys as well. We'll have both.
...of the novel anticipates the crimes of Epstein and his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. And even more interesting, by the way, is that this planet that is engaging in this child sex trafficking is known as the Khosars. Let me spell that for you. Kossar, not to be confused with Khazars. But I did decide to look into the word Khosar, Kos.
We know who Khazars are.
Sar, and it does, you know, it actually is a surname from Eastern European Slavic area, but don't let you get caught up here, okay? Anyways, in this intergalactic plot, there is this group of people who are political extremists, and they are ruled by oligarchs, and they settle this colony in the middle of nowhere because they're political extremists. And they're actually, it says on Wikipedia, they are bored because they just have so much power, such absolute power. They never get in trouble for anything. They can do whatever they want, these Khosars. And they're bored with their power, and they have an ambassador that's helping them to be welcomed back into the wider empire, because the wider empire is actually not down with their slave-owning society. They don't allow them to kidnap human beings and to trade them. That's so strange, right? Very interesting story that Barr was... It's a totally fictional story that he was telling. Vice actually read the book, a journalist named Becky Ferreira, and she describes the novel as highly unsettling due to its depiction of rape of enslaved people, particularly teenage girls, and other coercive sex acts. The sex acts described are performed, quote, for the dual purposes of entertainment and controlled procreation. And she views the novel as sexualizing minors and fetishizing rape. That seems really weird. But Barr, Daddy Barr, wrote this book. I got to tell you something else about him. It's quite interesting because it does end up being a lot of what Jeffrey Epstein was accused of and was taking place of, was actually doing. At the time that his book was published, even more interestingly, Donnie Barr was the headmaster of a school. Wow, could you imagine sending your kid to the school? And then this guy publishes this book about child sex exploitation. Anyways, he was the headmaster of a school called the Dalton School in New York. And while he was the headmaster, a young Jeffrey Epstein was selected to become a math teacher at this school.
Random as hell that he got picked as a math teacher. I don't even think Jeffrey Epstein had a college degree, guys, to be a teacher.
Epstein, by the way, was just 21.
Out of nowhere.
At the time. Donnie Barr's the headmaster. Jeffrey Epstein becomes a math teacher. And I got to tell you why that's weird. First and foremost, because Jeffrey Epstein only had a high school degree. He didn't have any teaching certifications.
I didn't watch this before, by the way, chat. I didn't watch this before. This is the first time I'm watching it with you guys. So she picked up on that right away.
He had dropped out of this mathematics program at NYU, yet under Donald Barr's stewardship, while he's writing this book on the side, Jeffrey Epstein is plucked from obscurity to teach at one of the most prestigious schools in Manhattan. So prestigious, by the way, that today, tuition is $65,000 per year. By the way, I should tell you, Barr himself was a bit controversial. He actually made several unconventional hires at this school during his tenure. And soon after Jeffrey was hired as a teacher, he had to resign amid some controversy. I'm not going to get down that rabbit hole for you, but yeah, he's an interesting character. And you are probably not going to be shocked, but while Epstein was there as a teacher, he was inappropriate with the young female students. He attended parties with them. They spoke about this in the future. Anyways, this unqualified, or at least underqualified, creepy Epstein, who only had a high school diploma, then magically gets a job in finance. Again, zero qualifications. He just somehow became friends with the CEO of Bear Stearns. So in 1976...
Yeah, Bear Stearns. We're going to get into Les Wexner now.
He joins this firm as a low-level junior assistant to a trader. Because again, he doesn't have any qualifications. So he's just assisting, not even the executive assistant, the junior assistant to a trader. But magically, you guys, you're not going to believe me. Just 4 years later, that junior assistant, Jeffrey Epstein, became a partner of the firm. I kid you not.
Become partner. What the fuck?
He was made a partner of the firm at the age of 27 with zero financial background. It's giving Emmanuel Macron. It's giving like someone more powerful is just kind of pulling me up through the ranks. And I'm allowed to do that for whatever reason. I don't know. That's just, I'm getting a vibe here. It just sounds very familiar to me. Anyways, just 1 year later, he actually had to leave that firm, even though he just made partner, because he was found guilty of an SEC violation. So partook in a little bit of fraud, very quickly had to resign. But it's all good because then he just started his own consulting firm, because obviously he's super qualified to do that, to start consulting for billionaires and governments, because that's what he did. He establishes like Epstein & Co. at the age of 28, and he begins consulting for governments and extremely wealthy clients. Some of those clients.
And this was out of nowhere, chat. He comes into all this money out of nowhere. And one of his biggest backers? Fuck. This guy right here, okay? Born in Dayton, Ohio, to parents Bella Nee, obviously Russian Jays. This is the guy that pretty much was his right-hand man and one of the main backers for Epstein. Now, this video just came out on CNN. We'll watch a little bit more of Candace, and we'll go into that.
Clients, by the way, who have embezzled funds from people. I'll give you just one example. This guy, Stephen Hoffenberg, hired Epstein.
Hoffenberg, we already know what that means.
In 1987 as a consultant for his Towers Financial Corporation. And while Jeffrey Epstein was consulting for Towers Financial Corporation, they happened to take part in the largest Ponzi scheme ever recorded until Bernie Madoff came some years later.
Bernie Madoff. You guys starting to see a trend here?
Darn. Once again, Epstein's just caught up in a little bit of fraud. But that didn't give the other elites, the other millionaires and billionaires, any pause to continue working with him. No, they just kept hiring this guy. And his most significant consulting relationship began with Leslie Wexner. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, it has been alleged.
Owned, Bath and Body Works, Victoria's Secret, etc. Multi-billionaire. Very powerful, hardcore Zionist, this guy, by the way, as well.
That Epstein made millions because he was managing Leslie Wexner's affairs. Millions. Far cry from billions. But Leslie, you might recognize Wexner because he is the owner of many retail.
Yeah, Wexner's a billionaire, but I think Epstein ended up becoming a billionaire before he died, Chad.
Retail stores, Abercrombie & Fitch, Victoria's Secret, I think is probably the one that he's most known for. Lane Bryant, just the L brand in general. Leslie for whatever reason, just felt that Jeffrey Epstein should just be given control of everything. Power of attorney, make hiring decisions, firing decisions. He really empowered this Jeffrey Epstein. And for whatever reason, while Epstein was empowered, when executives at the company would come forward and say, hey, this Jeffrey Epstein is kind of a creep. He's posing as a recruiter for Victoria's Secret models. And he's getting access to these women. That was completely ignored. Of course, we know what happens next. Epstein, or during this time frame, he is throwing parties for the elite of the elite. Everyone who wasn't anybody is obviously at a Jeffrey Epstein party. He is the guy to know. His sidekick there, Ghislaine Maxwell.
And there's Ghislaine Maxwell. And guys, this is how the scheme would go, okay? Just so you guys know. So, Ghislaine Maxwell, his girlfriend, right? She's currently in federal prison right now as we speak. Her father is Robert Maxwell. But this is how the scheme went. All right, because I know a lot of you guys here are new and you might not know. So basically, she will go to the UN, meet all these powerful people. She'd talk about the oceans and, conserving the environment, all this shit, right? And when she'd be at these UN events, she'd make a lot of friends. And obviously there'd be after parties, whatever. So what she would do is she'd be like, oh, yeah, we're going to have a party, come by. They have these parties or these get-togethers, and Ghislaine will bring Jeff, and Jeff would always have all these bitches around him, okay? These Victoria's Secret models. Why? Because Les Wexner owned Victoria's Secret. So Epstein not only had access to Victoria's Secret, but he had access to the models because another guy, this dude right here, Jean-Luc Brunel, okay, this guy was one of the main recruiters. And he would source the women for Wexner's Victoria's Secret, and also he would also source child models as well, child and adult models. This guy also died in a jail mysteriously, by the way, right? So Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell show up at these parties and have all these women, and people are like, oh, we want to get to know this guy. He has all this money. No one really knows where he came from, but he always has the women, because we all know that if you're the guy that brings the girls to the parties, everyone's going to want to be your friend. And that's kind of how we got them, right? Then he's like, oh, yeah, you should come hang out with us sometime. And then next thing you know, boom, gotcha. Underage girls there. Because he had a whole network of underage girls from the local high school in West Palm Beach. And he'd be flying them all around the U.S. Because he had a house in New York. He had a house in New Mexico, I think on a ranch. Or Arizona, somewhere out there in the West. Obviously, he had his home here in West Palm Beach. And he also had a home in France, in Paris.
Maxwell, we'll discuss her briefly in a bit. Fast forward to 2006, bad year for our boy Epstein. Bad year. In early 2006, Epstein was actually charged in Florida with multiple counts of molestation and unlawful sexual activity with a minor. Now, to be clear, the FBI was able to confirm for 34 minors. They were able to confirm their stories had been corroborated, that they had been abused by him. That number was then increased to 40 by the time he signed this really interesting plea deal. Okay. Now, to just let you know what he was up to, the details from the investigation included allegations that 12-year-old...
Now, if you guys want more detail on this 2006 case, I actually covered it in detail.
...using as a recruiter for Victoria's Secret models. And he's getting access to these women.
Real quick. Actually, you know what? Let me just... If you guys want to know the details of his 2006 case... Right here. 3 hours plus long.
The cash for each encounter.
But I went through his state case in detail, chat. We read the reports and everything. So here you guys go. If you guys actually want to get a deep dive into his 2006 case, I'll drop the link for you guys here. Timestamps are there. But here you guys go. You guys can definitely go check this out. I break this down in detail. We read through the reports and look at the old state case. So make sure to go check that out, ninjas. Link is there for you guys if you need it.
Triplets were flown in from France, interesting place, for Epstein's birthday, and then flown back following the day after they had been sexually abused by him. It was alleged that the young girls were being recruited from Brazil, from South American countries, from former Soviet countries, Europe, and that a certain Jean-Luc Brunel, who ran the modeling agency, which was funded by Epstein, known as MC2, was supplying these young girls to Epstein. Now, Jean-Luc Brunel, again, we're not going to get sidetracked here. He's a French guy. A lot of things that are just going to cross with the Epstein and the French and everything we've uncovered about Emmanuel Macron. But we can't speak to Jean-Luc today because you're not going to believe this, guys. Jean-Luc got arrested, and when he was in the cell, he committed suicide by hanging himself. Yeah. So that's not.
He also, just like I told you guys, he also died in a strange way. This guy.
For dead end. He committed suicide.
All right, Candace is on it, man.
Sadly. Anyways, oddly, Jeffrey Epstein, despite everything, all of his guilt, he was delivered this amazing deal, caught red-handed. And yet, Alexander Acosta, who was then the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida, handed him a very light sentence, and the deal was incredible, okay? First and foremost, the deal granted immunity to any of his potential co-conspirators. So it's like they're investigating the feds, and they're like, okay, this guy's got something to do, all these people, everyone's involved. We're just going to go ahead and grant immunity to those people. The prosecutors also agreed that they would keep the deal that they made with Jeffrey Epstein a secret from his victims, so that the victims could not challenge it in court. So they just get a phone call. They found out, but Jeffrey Epstein, we already dealt with that. He actually signed what's known as a non-prosecution agreement with federal prosecutors. So in the end, he pled guilty to just one count of solicitation of prostitution and one count of procurement of minors for prostitution.
Bro was able to go to and from jail, man. Who gets a sweetheart deal like that?
In Elon Musk's favorite story, a new Justice Department memo reveals that the Justice Department has no evidence that convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful people or kept a client list or was murdered in prison. The memo, first reported by Axios, is a sharp turn from the Trump administration's insistence that there was much more to uncover. Even Attorney General Pam.
Yeah, I mean, guys, look at this. Just so you guys get an idea.
Back with our law.
Real quick of like how they've switched things up so much. Look at this shit, bro. I posted this on my ex earlier today. Absolutely nuts.
With Epstein, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? Oh,
I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word or whoever that guy is as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything, but how are you going to reward the FBI with a new headquarters building after their illegal surveillance on Donald Trump continues with a reauthorization of FISA, and we can't even get basic documents out? This is why America hates Congress, and this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get the job done and failing.
Damn. And I commented, oof, this aged poorly. God damn, bro. God damn. God damn. All right, let me read this chat real quick. Can't Stop says, is it masculine imperative to be okay with being alone and having no friends company? I'm not interested in talking to girls for companionship because they're not interested in having no guy friends at the moment. Bro, we got buddies. That's what the OSS is for, my friend. You're going to find like-minded guys in there. Jump in the OSS Telegram group, bro. Jump in the Telegram group. You're going to find somebody in there that's like-minded you can link up with. Trippy says, is Alex Mineo land flipping? Yep. Yep, definitely. You could do it without money, bro. He showed how to do it on air. Speedy says, Myron, this is the news channel, The Debrief on the internet. Myron, this is the news channel, The Debrief on the internet, where we, the people, ask if something on the mainstream media news is true and actually fact check it as you're doing the show. No one on the internet really does that for their audience. I'm telling you, bro, we are the most interactive. Like, I really be fucking with y'all, man. Like I said before, I read the chats to my dismay sometimes, but I really do look at the chats and see what you guys are saying. Like, I engage with you guys. Most of these streamers, they don't engage with their chat, especially when they're doing like political commentary or cultural commentary. I engage with you guys because I really do enjoy talking to you guys and getting your guys' takes on stuff. right? I'm starting to like develop and know what people are gonna say and what they're gonna, you know, what their opinions are and shit, right? So, you know, we're building a community over here, bro. But yeah, this is honestly, yeah, this is the only news channel where we literally cover shit right then and there. How many times has it been like, yo, guys, you guys will spam me in the chat, yo, Suleiman has a space, or yo, Israel's getting attacked or some shit. And we go right into that and we cover the news right then and there. So it's a highly interactive show, man. That's why we're the best, guys. One Chess says, support your boy, free top DPG. Top DBG. Hey, guys, help me get monetized on Twitch. Need to increase my viewers per stream for 2 days. Okay, so DPG, guys, has a Twitch. Let me get his Twitch channel. All right. You guys know this is our homie DPG. Here's his Twitch channel right here. Okay, I'll drop the link for you guys. Go give him a follow, guys, and check him out. Help him get monetized on there. That's his Twitch channel. I'll keep it up for you guys so you guys can see it. What else do we got here? Grant Lee 65 says, hey Myron, keep up the good work. Just joined 2 weeks ago. Someone you should look into is James Forrestal. The two men who were his proteges were JFK and McCarthy. Afghan vet says the image on the back of the jacket is embroidered. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it would be embroidered. I got to talk to Brett about that. The Kurzberg says, Myron, I love that you always keep the quality high, but a lot of the time these broadcast ninjas just want to derail the show off the slightest audio disturbances. It's never that serious. If the OSS and Rumble guys say it's okay, then fuck the rest of them. Well, the Rumble guys say it's bad too. They complain in there as well. It's really only you guys. Can't stop Chris. Only problem is I don't know where to proactively find guys like that won't backstab me or be snakes. I told you, stop, Chris. Get in the Telegram group. We made a Telegram group for the paying members. We got Jacoby says, I respect Bonnie Blue more than Emily Austin because at least Bonnie admits taking all that. And oh my God, this nigga, bro. Okay, the Black D. Dole Strosser says, they blackmail people that are no evidence of Israeli blackmail. Yeah, bro. It's wild. Boogeyman says, follow up. I would never wife a sex worker. I thought it was a sad situation because this girl basically cooked her potential over an experiment that lasted a few months. Another example of why women need provisioning. Yeah, she's an idiot. Elite Damas, subscribe. Shout out to you, bro. Welcome to the OSS. Welcome. Punch. Top page would not only have been released the list, but he would have arrested each and every one of them. Yep. Okay. Guys, I'm only reading 5 and up chats or OSS guys. You got to join OSS. I see some of you guys like sending $1 or whatever. I only read those if it's 5 and up, but if you're an OSS member, I read it. Hey, Myron, if you were hired as AG, would you have released the Epstein files, or do you think there's an ominous threat that exists that they're stopping Kash, Dan, and Pam from release of files? I'll talk about that here in a second, what I think is holding them back. Drew, he says, hey, Myron, saw your vid about dropshipping with Samir, signed up for his webs, got an interview, etc. Seems like a scam. A lot of people saying it is. Bad rep behind it. Do you vouch for him, or is legit not a scam? Here's the thing, bro. Fresh knows him. That's Fresh's guy. Spends a lot of time with him. So ask Fresh, because he'll probably be able to give you more details. I don't want to speak on something I don't 100% know. Hey, Myron, I saw your vid about dropship. Oh, no, sorry, not that one. Ian Long says, like the fucking video. 3K in the chat. Keep up the work, brother. Full-time single father. You've been helping improve my life. Wish you the best. Thank you, bro. Okay, thank you so much. Guys, do me a favor. Smash that like button if you guys are watching on YouTube. Let's get back to it.
Bondi pushed that theory while in office. Take a look.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Ooh.
That's been a directive by President Trump.
But today, the White House says she didn't really mean to suggest that the list itself.
And that's what Caroline Levitt said earlier, chat.
Was on her desk.
She was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that.
Joining us now to discuss CNN's Evan Perez and Axios' Alex Eisenstadt, who broke the story on Axios. And
hey, guys, we're 5 away from hitting 2,300 on the OSS. Again, guys, sale is running till today. You can get it for only $4. Get in while you guys can.
Alex, I have to...
Cookie Monster event tomorrow.
Say, I'm with the people that still have questions about this. I kind of don't buy the nothing to see here. And I don't know that the Justice Department helped their case. They released this video. Let's show it. It shows no one entered the area surrounding Epstein's cell in the hours before he died. But there's something significant about this videotape. What is it?
Well, here's one thing that some people on the internet are picking up on, which is that there is about a minute missing between 11:58 p.m. 58 seconds and 12 a.m. The night that Epstein was apparently killed. Or died. And so...
The official story is that he died by suicide. That's
correct.
What then Trump Attorney General Bill Barr said a few years ago.
Died. And so now there are, it's going to intensify more conspiracy theories about what happened the night of Epstein's death. And of course, you have the DOJ and FBI now, which are trying to extinguish a lot of these conspiracy theories. But that's not happened today online. If you look at the MAGAverse, they're inflamed about this.
Well, I mean, no offense to Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, but they had a hand in igniting some of these conflagrations. I mean, in February...
I showed you guys the clip about Patel, what he said in the goddamn, what he said before.
The White House invited these conservative MAGA influencers to get a first look at the declassified documents related to the Epstein case. Look at that, all those binders. They gave them binders that said Epstein Files Phase 1. And Evan, at the time, you wrote that this is something of a self-own for the Justice Department. Why?
It absolutely was. Those binders, those documents in those binders, all of that was public for years. And that's what the influencers found out. When they opened it up, they're like, wait a minute, all of this stuff has been out there. And the Justice Department could have helped themselves and perhaps reduce the embarrassment if they had just picked up the phone and talked to some of the prosecutors in New York and some of the FBI agents who had done this case, and they could have told them all of this stuff has been out there. But you know why they didn't do that is because they fired all of these people. So they didn't have anybody to talk to, right? And so, this is something that they have absolutely fanned. And so now they own this. And that is part of the problem here. And they've been struggling with what to do about this, Jake, for some time, because agents spent overnight shifts redacting these documents, and then what they ended up with were pages that were filled with blackout.
Yeah.
They cannot release it because it would re-victimize some of the victims. Under federal law, there's a Privacy Act. So that's what they were facing. They were realizing that they were going to release a bunch of black pages that would have only fanned the conspiracy.
And Alex, a lot of people in the MAGA world are very upset, very disappointed with Attorney General Bondi, very upset with
Pam Bondi, she's a bimbo. I mean, I'm not really surprised. What did you expect with someone like her? She was the Attorney General of Florida, doesn't really know how the federal system works. Lots of promises, didn't really deliver on a lot of it. She's just a talking head for the DOJ, bro.
With the director and
Trump put her in position because she's a loyalist. She's not really competent.
Deputy Director of the FBI, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino. Mike Lindell of MyPillow fame posted on X, as trusted voices like Bongino, Kash, and Bondi align with the official story, many are asking who's still willing to demand real answers. Laura Loomer, who I only cite because apparently she has influence with President Trump.
Gets people fired.
She got National Security Council people fired. She posted, if Attorney General Bondi doesn't get fired over this Epstein memo, people are going to be...
Yeah, Laura Loomer's right. She's been roasting fun of, I think she calls her Pam Bondi. Laura Loomer be making fun of her. Yeah, Pam Bondi's a retard, bro. She is so dumb. Her and Kristi Noem are both retards.
So black-pilled. They were obviously hoping for a different outcome. And I have to say, Alex, I find it hard to believe that we still don't know so much about this case.
Yeah, and I don't think the conspiracy theories are ever going to stop. But big picture, this is sort of what happens when you have the MAGA influencerization of the DOJ and the FBI, right? You put Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, who before going into the FBI were MAGA influencers.
Talking about this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now they come in and their high expectations, they were going to deliver, and they came up empty-handed. And so there's a lot of anger about that. And the MAGA universe is not happy today.
Well, after months of teasing the release of new information about the accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein and...
Bro, it's like CNN is coming to like just cook, bro. Yo, this is why I like watching adversarial media sometimes, because like you guys remember when Biden was in office, they were constantly saying, release the list. Like, you know, we know that there's going to be a bunch of Democrats on that list, blah, 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 talking all this shit. So now CNN is seeing that the Trump administration is in and they're not releasing the list. Like nothing to see here, bro. They're on a fucking spree right now. CNN is getting their get back because, as you guys know, CNN hates the Trump administration, bro. So it's kind of entertaining to see this shit. Oh, man.
And his alleged client list, the Justice Department, well, they're now saying that no evidence or such a list actually existed, or that Epstein was murdered. The DOJ saying it does not plan to release any new documents on the matter, and writing today in a memo, quote, there was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged parties. Joining me now is CNN senior justice correspondent Evan Perez and CNN legal analyst Elliot Williams.
They're loving this, bro. CNN is loving this.
Evan, you've reported on this for, I think, years on some level now. Right. Tell us how this memo kind of came to be, how this case became such a fixation.
Well, the case became a fixation in part because the Attorney General and other people around President Trump have fanned the flames of this conspiracy, that there was some bombshell hidden in these Epstein documents. And everyone has known, certainly a lot of the documents that the Justice Department has been looking at, they've been out in public already for years, because you remember some of his co-defendants went on trial after his 2019 suicide. So this is no surprise to anyone who's been paying attention, but for people inside the Justice Department who certainly encourage this kind of belief out there, they're now having to admit that there's really no there. And you see in the memo, it says a systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions, or that he was murdered. Again, all of these things were known. It's just that there was a certain part of the internet, and certainly on Twitter, a lot of MAGA believers who believed that there was something here that was being hidden.
Yeah, and look, the White House, I think on some level, was active participants at some elements of those corners of the internet. What did the White House say about this case earlier today?
Well, today they had to react to the fact that just a couple of months ago...
And Netanyahu's in the U.S. too, chat.
The Attorney General on Fox News seemed to indicate that there was a client list sitting on her desk, and now what they're saying...
Yeah, no, chat, I am going to end the stream once we do Chris's AA meeting.
What she's referring to is just that she was looking at the larger number of documents that were out there. And again, they held an event at the White House where they brought in all the MAGA influencers to look at these binders, which ended up being documented.
Yeah, they brought in like DC Drano, aka DC Gayno, Mike Cernovich, Jack Posobiec, Emily Austin, Libs of TikTok. But by the way, if you're wondering, yeah, they're one of them. Pretty much all of them, I think, except for Jack Posobiec is one of them boys. Bro, that shit was so fucking stupid. And they gave the flight logs, right? Which had already been out before. Like, what the fuck? And as a matter of fact, you guys are wondering, the day that they released those flight logs, me and Ryan Dawson did an episode and we actually showed the flight logs before they even got released.
That had been on
they had already been out.
Internet and had been available publicly for years.
Elliot, before I ask you a question, I want to play that sound that Evan was just talking about. Take a listen.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, they're not going to let go of this. They're going to keep cooking Pam Bondi on this one.
Clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agents.
She's just a talking head, man. Fox representative. This chick is a bimbo.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Elliot used to work for the Justice Department, and Attorney General saying that, and then a memo like this coming into the public sphere. What does it tell you about what happened here?
It's embarrassing what happened here, Phil. Look, the Attorney General, and this is to Evan's point a moment ago, sort of fanned the flames of these truly bonkers, I won't say the full word, conspiracy theories that have been allowed to infiltrate not just American life, but also the government at the highest levels. There are basic facts here that we ought to accept. Number one, Jeffrey Epstein did really bad things to many people. And number two, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in prison before he could face trial. Those are facts. That is truth. Any suggestion to the contrary is simply not held by serious people.
Hey guys, do me a favor. We got almost 4,000 guys in here, but only 1,100 likes. Bro, we should be at 4,000 easy, man. We got well over 4,000 you guys in here alone. So smash that like button, chat. Smash that like button for me, guys.
And the Attorney General herself, quite frankly, is responsible for allowing some of this nonsense to get out there. Now, thankfully, the Justice Department has put this memorandum out there, but this is just a bad look for the Justice Department. It's actually quite shameful.
Elliot, is it normal for DOJ to release a memo like this?
It really isn't, Phil, only because the memorandum is really pushing back against conspiracy theories. It's not, explaining why someone wasn't charged with a crime or explaining why someone was charged with a crime or explaining the facts of the case. It is merely put out there to debunk some of this nonsense that the Attorney General actually helped fan the flames of by handing these memos out, these binders out at the White House and so on. So no, it is not common at all. Certainly the Justice Department makes public statements all the time. They make public statements to our reporters like Evan Perez, and that's fine. But pushing back on conspiracy theories is not a core competency of any member of the Justice Department, and quite frankly, it should not be.
Evan, real quick before I let you go, any repercussions for the Attorney General on this?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can see people on the right, including Lara Loomer, she's calling for the Attorney General to be fired. This is not over because the fact...
And Trump put her in, guys, because, he put her and Kristi Nolan, these two bimbos, to kind of make it look like, yo, look, I got a diverse fucking, cabinet, and these are loyalists, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in there. But both of them are incompetent retards, if we're going to be honest. So I'm not surprised whatsoever. What time is it? 7:41? Okay, we got a little bit of time. We're going to finish off. Look at this. You got, as you guys know, Netanyahu is in the United States, and this looks like the people are protesting outside live.
Because the things that we normally do don't work. On the streets of New York, it's the same training, it's the same tear gas, it's the same weapons. I'm sorry, but we don't.
All right, nigga.
How do you know who the mayor will be? I don't know that. Do we know that?
He's going to be very fine, and who knows? We don't know who the mayor's going to be yet. But this is a communist. He's not a socialist. He's a communist, and he said some really bad things about Jewish people, and he said some really bad things about a lot of people. And
they're talking about Mamdani, the future mayor of New York, more than likely.
And I think he's going through a little bit of a honeymoon right now, but he might make it. But, it all comes through the White House. He needs the money through the White House. He needs a lot. He's going to behave. He'll behave. He better behave. Otherwise, he's going to have big problems. But it's a philosophy that this country is not ready for, and it never will be. By the way, we have a man with us who thought this was going to be a very glamorous, easy job. He's the ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, former governor, former everything. I'd say he's a former everything, and respected and loved by everybody. And he loves Israel. He loves the state of Israel, and nobody loves it much more. And he's not Jewish, and he loves Israel, and he wanted to be there.
For those of you that want to join the OSS, I'll drop the link in the chat. I see a couple of you guys in the YouTube chat saying you want to get it. It's pinned at the top, but I'll drop it for you guys that want to join. $4 to join in, guys. Use them boys 911 to get in. Real quick, let me read some of these chats. Low key, what if Epstein was never on live? The system protects itself. Too many elites involved. Yep, for sure. Natalia Adams says, I can't wait for the episode on Tuesday. Yep, coming tomorrow with Corey Hughes. It's going to be 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If it is known that Musk is on the spectrum, these women are having hard kids on purpose for money? Probably, yeah. Bad Boy Ross says, what happened after that girl with the big tits who was crying left? She seemed like she didn't want to leave, maybe because of entitlement, maybe because of clout, or maybe she just wanted to stay genuinely. Did you hit that? No man in his right mind would refuse raw milk. No, I didn't. I didn't even talk to her after. Isaiah says, what's up, bro? I'm thinking about joining my sheriff's department as a deputy. It's in RGV, Hidalgo County, Texas. Any thoughts? Yeah, do it. But try to move to another agency after because I don't think they pay that well. So, Boosted Myron, we need to pack this guy at Wheezy in chat, spamming the chat. Who's at Wheezy? TBC Films W, stream homie. Is a 1 verse 20 still happening? Okay, yeah, I got to talk to Chris. TPC. Got to talk to Chris. SS Heitzman says to add upon your 400 credit score loan analogy, the bank will have you fill a form and do a credit inquiry. That's her getting fucked and taking the small credit hit. Yep. What do you think the biggest reason Israel has their claws into our government lobbyists or more? What do you think is the biggest reason? Yeah, it's the lobbying groups by far. 100% the lobbying groups. The lobbying groups have the tentacles, man.
There, I said, Mike, it could be dangerous. No. Well, at least I was right about that. He was in every bunker you could be in. He was running around from bunker to bunker, but he's still with us, fortunately, and he's done a great job. Would you say a few words, Mike?
Just want to say what an honor it is to serve you, Mr. President.
The OSS is linked, by the way, guys, at the top, both the Rumble and the YouTube chat. So if you guys want to join, $4 again, them boys, sale ends. I'll probably end it tomorrow. What I'll probably do is I might, like I said, since we had the audio issues, I extended it. And what I'll do is I'll extend it up until tomorrow when we do Corey Hughes. How about that? You guys happy?
Fatality.
I got y'all niggas. We will go ahead and run it till tomorrow until Corey Hughes comes on. Once we do Corey Hughes, I'll get as many of you guys to get in at that good price up until the last minute. Once we go on with Corey Hughes, it's over. And from that point forward, also, guys, I'm going to close the OSS chat. It's only going to be for paid supporters only. Because I know a lot of people go in there so they can donate through there and not have to, do the limits. But starting after Tuesday, chat, right? Just quick home announcements. So this is what we're going to do. Obviously, we're going to finish up this stream tonight, right? Then, me and Bills are going to work with the audio, make sure it's fucking crispy for tomorrow, right? Then, we're going to go ahead and do our stream tomorrow, 5 p.m. debrief. I'm going to get some good rest today and then make sure I go live at 5 tomorrow. We're going to give you guys 5 to 6 hours. 11 p.m. hits. Corey Hughes is going to come on. We're going to discuss the Cookie Monster event for about 2 hours. I will run the sale up until we do the show with Corey Hughes. So I'll extend it for you guys because I didn't have the audio on point today either. So I'm making amends. So you'll be able to get in at the $4 price point all the way up until tomorrow night with Corey Hughes. And then from there, it goes to $10 after that, chat. Every month is going to be $10 a month. It won't go up on you. First month is $4, $10 a month after that. What are the perks? Every time I travel to a city, I'm going to do a meetup. Let you guys know, paid OSS members. When we do polls, right? Like right now, I got a poll right now in the OSS for only paid members where you guys could pick what serial killer or what case we're going to cover next Sunday. You get discounts on merch. You get a Telegram group. There's a free Discord. 1 free meetup per year. I'm going to start doing call-in shows this week or next week where I'm only going to answer the phone and talk to debrief guys, right? After the stream. So we'll get to interact that way. So there's going to be a bunch of perks for all you guys that are in OSS. And then also we'll do behind the scenes. We're going to do content as well in there that we're not going to put anywhere else on OSS exclusive stuff. The first piece of exclusive is going to be tomorrow with Corey Hughes on the Cookie Monster event. So lots of benefits, guys, for only joining for $4, $10 a month, or you can get it for the year. JFK 9/11. So I want to make sure I explain all that because I know some people were confused. Is it $4 forever? No. $4 first month, $10 after that. So basically, a Starbucks coffee damn near. All right, a month. And the other benefit too, guys, is when you're in the OSS and you donate a chat, all you got to do, donate $1 and I'll read your chat on air. You save money by actually being in there if you want to interact all the time and send $1 here, send in $1 there, versus you got to send in $5 if you're not an OSS member. And then starting tomorrow, after the sale ends, the OSS chat is going to be locked and only for OSS members. You have to be a paying member to be in there. Okay? To be in the chat, because when you're in that chat, when you send in a super chat, I read it. Does that make sense? So you'll have to be an actual member to be able to be in the OSS chat and then send your donations through the OSS chat so it gets read on air. So that's going to start tomorrow after the thing. So I'm going to extend the sale for you guys. Cookie Monster event. After that, close it out, and get in while you guys can. But let's get back to it. Hopefully that makes sense for all you guys.
And to see a historic horizon that we're looking at in the Middle East. And when the president made his trip to the Middle East, and then he really reached out to the new Syrian government, knowing they needed a partner and knowing that they could pick the wrong partner. And what the president did, which took us all off guard, but the strategic move in that has set up something that is absolutely historic. And Mr. President, I don't even think you fully comprehend the impact that you're having.
Oh man, that's funny. Some dudes are in the chat saying, what is a Cookie Monster event? That is great. That's hilarious.
On the region in a way.
Smash that like button, guys. We only got 1,400 likes. We got almost 4,000 you guys in here just watching on YouTube alone. Smash that fucking like button, okay, guys?
That is so remarkable. And it was your leadership, your foresight. You did that when the B-2s went in. The celebration, the sense of partnership that you gave with the Israeli people was so dramatic. But the message was bigger than to Israel. It was a message to the world. America's friends can trust us, but America's foes had better fear us. And that is a message that the president
See, here's the problem. They're not our foes. They're only our foes because they're foes with Israel.
Sent to everyone on the planet. And it is a message that will resonate toward a matter of
Also, guys, I'll react tomorrow to also Tucker interviewed the president of Iran. We don't have time to get into it today, but I'll talk about it tomorrow.
peace, the likes of
We're gonna spend a lot of time on foreign policy tomorrow, chat.
which I don't think we've ever seen. So thank you.
Great job you're doing, Tim. They love you over there. They respect him and they love him.
Mr. President.
You know, it's very, very interesting. We had the pilots here yesterday, as you know, and they were incredible. And we also had the mechanics. We had a lot of people here that had to do, a lot of people, I think about 170 people that had to do with that incredible journey. A journey that could have been horrible. You remember what happened with Jimmy Carter with the helicopters and all of the problems, and ultimately hostages. We had the exact opposite. Everything was perfect. It worked perfectly. But I didn't realize, I was saying to one, is this something that you felt strongly about? Absolutely, sir. I couldn't wait. I said, better than you, really better you than me. But they couldn't wait. He said, sir, we've been practicing for this mission for more than 20 years. From just after 2000, they've been thinking and practicing to go into that area. I guess you probably know that better than anybody, Pete. They've been looking at going in, but they never had a president that would allow them to do it. And perhaps right, perhaps wrong. I don't know if that's true or not, but I didn't realize they were preparing for that journey from just a little bit after 2000, the year 2000. And I was pretty amazed by that. They knew it. They knew every inch of it. And they came back and they said, we got it better than we ever did in practice.
King of Yap.
But they've been practicing for more than 20 years. Can you imagine? Yeah.
On Ukraine, Mr. President, are you planning to send more weapons to Ukraine?
We're going to send some more weapons. We have to. They have to be able to defend themselves. They're getting.
All right.
Hezbollah has been brought to its knees. Iran is out of the picture. So I think this presents opportunities for stability, for security.
This is actual live feed.
And eventually for peace. And I think that conflict. And there's a lot to gain by moving towards peace. And I think that opportunity has been opened by the president and by the changed security situation which we brought about with the collapse of the Assad regime.
Are there direct talks with the Assad government?
Now,
there you go. We brought about the collapse of the Assad regime. Remember fucking that dumbass said, oh no, it wasn't the Israelis, it was the Turks? Remember when I was on that Twitter space and that fucking retard tried to tell me, it wasn't the Israelis? Yes, it fucking was. The day after the ceasefire, Ahmed al-Shara, or Mohammed al-Shara, whatever, aka Mr. Jolani, fucking launched an attack in Syria and they took over the country within weeks. So Israel absolutely was involved. See, Netanyahu just admitted just there, bro. I'm vindicated once again, baby. Bro, I be cooking in these Twitter spaces, chat.
Let's suppose there were.
Remember that debate, guys? He tried to tell me, oh no, it was the Turks. The Turks are the ones that got Bashar al-Assad out of there. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Erdogan don't got no fucking juice like that. It's the Israelis, man.
Answer yes, no, right?
That's my duty to ask.
Right? It's your duty to ask, and my duty to ask you back. So,
You know, at the request of a lot of countries in the surrounding area of the Middle East, including Bibi, we took this.
We're going to cover the Houthi strikes tomorrow as well, guys. We'll cover the Iranian interview. We'll cover the Houthi strikes. It'll be a lot of foreign policy tomorrow.
Sanctions of Syria.
And then also, looks like a Border Patrol, there was a shooting in McAllen, Texas, guys. A guy tried to shoot Border Patrol agents at their facility, and he got killed. I'll cover that tomorrow, too, for you guys. I love you, man. I'm just getting started, changing my life. I wish I found you sooner. God bless. Thank you so much, Cepicino. Hey, man, never too late, brother.
And I met the new leader. I was very impressed by him. Somebody said, well, he comes from a very tough background. I said, well, you know, I'm not that surprised. It's a tough part of the world. But I was very impressed by him. But we took the sanctions off because we want to give them a chance. They would.
Translation: we took the sanctions off because Syria is going to recognize Israel as a state. That's why. Because Bashar al-Assad refused to recognize Israel, right? And he was working alongside Iran. But once Ahmed al-Shara got in, the current president of Syria, a.k.a. Mohammed al-Jolani, al-Qaeda member, by the way, former al-Qaeda member, once he got in, he kicked the IRGC out, a.k.a. the Iranian Guard, and they said that they were going to make peace with Israel. And that's why Trump relieved the sanctions. If you don't think that this was planned by the Israelis and the United States, then, bro, you're living under a rock.
Never have had a chance without the sanctions. And one of the things we have with Iran is, you know, we have they call biting, they are very biting sanctions. And I would love to be able to, at the right time, take those sanctions off, give them a chance at rebuilding, because I'd like to see Iran build itself back up in a peaceful manner and not going around saying death to America, death to the USA, death to Israel.
Okay, so this question actually came up on Tucker's interview. When they say death to America, they mean death to the foreign policy of America, where they are killing innocent people every single day and enabling Israel to do all the bullshit that it does, right? It's the ideology and the foreign policy the United States exercises that they say death to that. Now, some people might say, oh, that's not what it is or whatever, but I mean, look, most terrorists that have been caught in America are Sunni jihadists. It's not Shiites, if we're going to be honest.
We're doing, you know, they were the bully of the Middle East, and now they're not the bully anymore. But they were saying terrible things, and would like to see them. They have such potential, you know. They have the oil power, and they have great people, smart people.
I wish I could see Netanyahu's face right now as he's saying this, because Netanyahu does not agree with anything he's fucking saying. Oh, I don't get it. Like Netanyahu wants complete regime change.
Energetic people, amazing. And I know so many Iranians from New York. I have a lot of friends, and they're great people. So it's a shame when you see a thing like this happen. But I think that taking the sanctions off of Syria.
Yeah, but what he won't tell you guys is that he got out of the fucking nuclear deal that could have made peace. What he won't tell you is that he made Mike Pompeo his Secretary of State and designated the IRGC as a terrorist organization. What he won't tell you is, though, by them being on the FTO list, foreign terrorist organization, they got crippling sanctions that destroyed their economy. One of the best things that Obama did while he was president was he negotiated and brokered the nuclear deal, okay, which had several countries involved: China, United States, Russia, France, I think, where everyone was overseeing Iran's nuclear program.
Syria is going to give Syria a great shot at making it.
Mr. President, I'm a congressional question. Are there any executive orders that you'd like to see Congress focus on when they come back in session? Do you have any that you prioritize to go first?
Well, we've done a lot of them in the last, as you know, and I always say the great, big, beautiful bill. I add the word great. But it was the largest bill of its kind ever passed. We were talking about it before. It was beauty. But you know, a lot.
Yeah, all you poor niggas, man, you guys are not going to get no more SNAP. All you SNAP savior niggas, bro, you guys are going to have to get up and fucking go work, man. Trump calls it the big, beautiful bill, but for a lot of y'all niggas, it's going to be a big, ugly job. Put the fries in the bag, nigga.
A lot of the things that we did, executive orders, have been codified in the legislation that we just had passed.
Cas Verde, I'm going to watch the Tucker interview tomorrow, bro. Going to watch it tomorrow.
And we're going to be sending in a lot more over the next period of about 2 months separately. But a lot of it was part of that beautiful big bill.
Mr. President, on tariffs.
It's a short interview too. It's only like 30 minutes, so we'll definitely cover it tomorrow. I don't have time today because they're gonna do they're gonna go live here in a second with the AA meeting. And guys, let's get to 3,000 likes before the stream ends, bro. We only got 1,500, bro. There's 4,000 niggas in here. Come on, man. Smash that fucking like button, bro.
What happened to 90 trade deals in 90 days?
We've spoken to everybody. We know it's all done. I told you, we'll make some deals, but for the most part, we're going to send a letter. We're going to say, welcome to the United States. If you'd like to participate in the greatest, most successful country ever. I mean, we're doing better than ever. We have, I don't think, and you're going to see these numbers soon. We've never had numbers like this. We've never had investment like this. We have more than 90. We're going to have much more than 90, but most of those are going to be sent a letter. This is exactly what I said. Now, we've made a deal with United Kingdom. We've made a deal with China. We've made a deal. We're close to making a deal with India. Others we met with, and we don't think we're going to be able to make a deal, so we just send them a letter. If you want to play ball, you have to. This is what you have to pay. So as far as I'm concerned, we're done. We're sending out letters to various countries telling them how much tariffs they have to pay. Some will maybe adjust a little bit depending if they have a cause. We're not going to be unfair about it. And actually, it's a small fraction compared to what we should be getting. We could be asking for much more, but for the sake of relationships that we've had with a lot of really good countries, we're doing the way I do it. But we could be getting a lot more. We could ask for a lot more than what we're asking for.
Let's say we're done because you're sending the letters. To follow up on Ed had asked earlier, you're counting these as deals by saying, here's the tariff rate we're going to charge.
I'm saying, here it is. Congratulations. Welcome to the United States. I hope you make a lot of money, and you're going to pay us money. They were ripping us. They were charging us tariffs at levels that nobody's ever seen before. We have some countries who are charging 200%.
Sabrina Op says, my first time in a bit. I caught you live. I always listen to your streams while I'm cleaning my job. Thanks for the good news coverage. I appreciate that, Sabrina Op. We got a lot of women that are joining the OSS, man, and like getting involved. So shout out to all you ladies, man. It's good to see that, some of you guys want some base news instead of, them boys coverage. Jays and Blaze, Myron / appreciate you, sir.
Tariffs and making it impossible to do business. And what the tariffs are doing is they're driving people in and companies into the United States. That's why we're building all of the work that you see happening in this country right now, and it's at a record level. All the factories, all of the AI institutions that are being built. It's largely because, I think it's because of November 5th, the good election, and I think it's because of the tariffs. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you.
What's for dinner?
I don't know, but it looks good to me.
All right, Susie Wiles, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth. I can't see who this is over here in the corners. And then look, you can obviously see the whole Israeli squad over here. Netanyahu's in the middle. His wife is right there. I think this is the president of Israel. Israel does it a little bit differently. They have a president, but the prime minister is actually the chief, head of state. Of course, these niggas with the hats.
Thank you, Carol.
Okay. We're gonna back out there. What the fuck? Chris goes to a meeting. Yeah. I'm waiting until they start. Looks like Tim Pool just started. Oh, I'll be on Tim Pool on the 14th, by the way, chat. Speaking of which, I will be on Tim Pool the 14th. I think I might go to Turning Point USA as well. I think I'm going to be out there this weekend. I think I'm going to be there on Saturday. So,
President Trump will soon welcome Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House this evening for a state dinner. The two big topics on their agenda, a possible ceasefire between Israel and Hamas and the future of Iran's nuclear program. The White House commenting on their meeting earlier today.
1740 likes, guys. Smash the like button on YouTube. I don't want to hold the show hostage.
the utmost priority for the president right now in the Middle East is to end the war in Gaza and to return all of the hostages. Also, as you know, there was a ceasefire proposal that Israel supports that was sent to Hamas, and we hope that they will agree to this proposal. We want to see all of the hostages released. That's on the top of the president's mind, so that will be discussed, as well as the many other positive developments we've seen in the Middle East.
Well, Netanyahu saying in a statement yesterday that we have never had such a friend in the White House. Our joint involvement brought a great victory over our mutual enemy, Iran. For more, I want to bring in ABC News' Alex Prochet. And look, Alex, we know, again, this is the third time that Netanyahu's been to the White House since the president took office in January.
I think he has visited the White House the most of any other foreign leader.
And we know we've been talking about it, but I mean, really, what do we expect out of this meeting here?
Well, I would set the table here, Kana, by saying that the stakes
this cross-eyed nigga's back.
With this particular meeting are incredibly high for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And this dinner, which is set to get underway in the next actually 15 minutes or so. The reason I say that is because obviously the U.S. has been pushing for a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. And certainly right now the two sides are closer than they ever have been to a ceasefire agreement. But this is also playing out while Netanyahu faces tremendous pressure at home. He's facing trials for being accused of bribery and corruption. And those trials have been put on pause as because of diplomacy issues and also national security. So there is tremendous pressure to make progress here. And as you mentioned, Israel has agreed in principle, but the other party here that has to kind of go along with this is Hamas. And I would say that there have been times in the past where the White House has really kind of telegraphed some sense of confidence about this, but we heard from Caroline Leavitt, who said that, number one, she didn't want to get ahead, and also of what the president was going to say, and also said that these were just two people having dinner and not really setting the table for any expectations to really kind of come of this debate. But it really kind of speaks to just how uncertain things are right now.
Well, so as you temper the expectations there, Alex, you have also pointed out, though, that the optics alone of this meeting have been far different from meetings in the past.
The optics are very different, right? So you think about the other two times that Netanyahu has visited Washington. The first, he was the first head of state to visit the President Trump in his new second term back in January, and then also he visited in April. In both of those times, it was very public. He saw a number of photo ops between the two leaders. Today, it's really quiet. Netanyahu had that meeting with Secretary of State Rubio and the special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, at the Blair House, and then all of the undertakings here at the White House have been closed door. It's a steep departure from what we've seen already this year.
And he's not just meeting with the president, right? He's going to meet with Congress, members of the Trump administration. What is that going to look like?
So he's meeting with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, tomorrow. But what's interesting, Kana, is we don't really know what to expect from that meeting. We do know that unlike today, it is going to be public. There is going to be a photo op. But you got to keep in mind, I mean, that the House is out for this week. So in terms of how big that group of lawmakers will be, we really don't have a sense. And also, there's not really a sense as to what the ask would be as well. Is this something, is he coming to Capitol Hill specifically lobbying for extra resources, or is this just to preserve a relationship?
All right, well, it remains to be seen. I know you'll be watching it closely, Alex Prochet. Thank you.
All right. What's this?
Well, we've been here before. Yeah.
Okay. Bloomberg. All right, let's see here. Guys, let's get to 2,000. We're still at 1,700 ninjas. Come on, man. All right, let me read some of these chats. Myron Gates X, is this what you were talking about? That's a funny picture. Johnny Silverhand with the funny pic. Shout out to my knee Gaz with the gifted sub. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. My knee Gaz. I see what you did there, sir. Weird difference I've noticed between men and women being interested in materialistic things such as watches, clothes, cars, etc. is men, if they like something, is they will tell you what model it is, who made it, what year it was made, what materials, and other strange facts. Whereas women don't usually know this information besides it looks nice and it's expensive. Interesting. Yeah, that's true, bro. That's true. Sabrina, Myron, do you know a good source of news information for Canada? I wish you could cover the issues here as well, but I get why you don't. Canada is cooked. Sabrina, no, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't follow Canadian politics, so I wish I did know, but I don't know. You guys might as well follow our politics because whatever you guys follow us anyway. Can't Stop Chris says, what's the reasoning for them boys owning all the major news networks, social media, tech, etc.? How did they do it, and why do they have so much money? You know what, dude? I am going to do an episode on this. I've talked about this before, but I might as well say it again. I am thinking about doing a 4 to 5 part series covering them boys, okay, by decade, and how they're able to amass an enormous amount of influence and resources that they have in the United States. So, but yeah, they're overrepresented everywhere. BFD, if they don't let you talk at TPUSA, set up your own booth. Well, I don't know if they're not gonna let me talk. I think I don't know. I think I'm gonna be there to debate Destiny on the 12th, but I don't know what's gonna happen on I think Sean Kelly told me. But yeah, I'll definitely be there on the 12th. Can you explain the Cookie Monster event sometime? I don't have a clue what you're referring to with that. My Nigas with the 5 gifted. Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate that. Thank you, my Nigas on Kick. Can someone in the chat tell this guy what the Cookie Monster event is on OSS chat? Somebody tell him what the Cookie Monster event is. SS Heitzman says, real nigga news network. You know it, bro. Yeah, bro, I'm on YouTube, so I use certain phrases. We need Diddy on After Hours? Oh, yeah, okay, nigga. Tom Joe says, yo, Myron, I'm Iranian American. I've been in touch with my family. You've been so on point with your analysis. Keep up the great work. Fuck the haters. I appreciate you, Tom Joe. Yeah, bro. Look, and guys, just so you guys know, it just got reported, I think today, that Iran did in fact hit 5 strategic locations in Iran. Sorry, that Iran hit 5 strategic locations in Israel. Israel was in fact censoring a bunch of the hits that Iran was able to successfully conduct. So thank you so much, Tom. Yeah, bro, I spoke with a lot of Iranians, man. That's why I know this stuff. Like, I know it intimately with what's going on. This was a major L for the United States. And for those of you that are wondering, let me show you guys something real quick. My guy, Brett, dropped another awesome video. Yo, we good to go? Yeah, we're about to start. You're about to start? Okay. I'm going to end the stream right now. What was that? Yeah, I'm literally going to stream this. I'm going to show them one video and then I'll get off. I was wondering when you guys were ready. All right. The AA meeting is here. Here you go, guys. This is a video that Brett made. I'll drop it in the thing for you guys. And then Chris is going to have his AA meeting. Here's the link to it, guys. Quickly summarize the event.
Let's assume best case scenario that the United States actually did completely destroy their nuclear capabilities and set them back to 1 to 2 years, as the Pentagon is saying. That's irrelevant because they've already demonstrated the ability to enrich uranium at a high level. They've mastered the enrichment cycle and they know what they're doing. Though Israel assassinated a lot of scientists, they didn't assassinate all the scientists. Though they assassinated commanders, they didn't assassinate all the commanders. They didn't get the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah was in hiding the whole time and Israel was looking for him, but they couldn't assassinate him. One of the generals they thought they killed survived. So even if we go with the Western narrative that they destroyed everything and they got the enriched uranium that they're claiming that they actually have, it doesn't matter because the regime is still there and they can rebuild it within 2 years. So was this really a W? I say no. I think no. Because now you kick out the IAEA, your eyes into their nuclear program is gone. Diplomacy is severed. Now you've pretty much made it where they have to get a bomb now. There's no choice. And the Iranians are treating this as a victory. Why are they treating this as a victory? Because the United States and Israel attacked them, but the regime is still intact. For them, that's a big W. They look at it like the imperialism of the West tried to come here and attack us and affect regime change, and they failed. So the fact that they're still standing is the W to them.
As you guys, all right. So that's basically a quick summary. Shout out to music is too low. Okay. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to dip out. It's time for Chris's AA thing. I'm going to end the stream here, guys. I love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow at 5. Okay? I'll be back tomorrow at 5. Don't forget to join the OSS niggas. Okay? Quick word from our sponsor. You guys know this. Only thing I ask, especially for my YouTube viewers, is for you guys to join OSS. We just passed. Sale ends tomorrow, guys. Get in now, niggas. 1,500 active supporters. I want to say thank you guys so much for the OSS. As you guys know, the OSS is my community. Starting in July, we're going to start adding in some perks. We got a Discord that we're working on, a Telegram group. Also, giving you guys merch discounts. You can call to the debrief show. I'm going to take in calls. $4 to join. I'm running a sale right now for you guys. Or you can jump in for the year at $75. Basically, this is how I offset the fact that YouTube is absolutely robbing me blind because I know that they still run ads on my shit. The goal is 10,000 strong for us to fight back against the censorship of YouTube. That's how you really support me, support the mission. It allows me to continue to do these super long streams for you guys. A lot of people tell me, hey Myron, like you shouldn't even be streaming on YouTube anymore. You should be streaming on Rumble and Kick only. But I'll take the financial hit to reach more people, especially on YouTube where people don't talk about this shit. All right, go. I love you guys. Go check out Chris, Henny Chris time, chat. Henny Chris time. All right. I'll catch you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. Let's go, baby.